Welcome to the Rockish George podcast. I'm your host, George Dionne, and this is episode 61. Thank you for tuning into the podcast through our website, rockishgeorge.com, on our YouTube page, on one of the many podcast streaming platforms, or at knac.com. For this episode, my guest is Christian Carlsson. He's known primarily as the guitarist for the Swedish stoner rock band The Quill for the last 30 years. He recently teamed up with bassist Jerry Pritz to put together a southern blues rock band. It's called Cirkus PRÜTZ. They're going to be releasing their sophomore album on July 29th called Blues Revolution through Metalville Records. So here's Christian Carlsson, vocalist and guitarist of Cirkus PRÜTZ. If I knew absolutely nothing about Cirkus PRÜTZ, how would you describe the band's music to me?
Well, I would say, I think our starting point musically is like 70s blues rock from mostly American bands, I think. I think ZZ Top is definitely a big thing there in the background where we always go back and listen to. And also, those guys like George Thorogood and Pat Travers, those more heavy guitar-oriented blues rock bands from the 70s, I think.
You're known for your work in The Quill. You're the guitarist of The Quill for the last 3 decades. This is something a little different for you that you started a couple of years back. How did you end up putting Cirkus PRÜTZ together?
Yeah, it's actually Jerry's band, and the bass player, therefore the name as well. He had this band with the drummer Per, and they were a local band from the beginning, playing bars and blues covers, playing those ZZ Top songs and Freddie King and that kind of stuff. And then they needed a guitar player just for the summer because they had a lot of shows, and the guitar player quit. And I thought, I can join you guys. We can do a couple of shows. And then the singer quit as well. And by that time, I had offered my vocal duties. I can sing a couple of the songs. It's hard on the voice to sing 2 or 3 sets every night as a singer. So I can say I can sing a couple of songs just to make you breathe once in a while in the shows. And then when he quit, we couldn't find anyone who could sing. So I ended up singing everything from that point. And then we got a guitar player who wasn't up for singing at all. So it kind of developed in that way, not intentionally at all, just the way things developed. So I was thrown in as a replacement, and then I ended up as the frontman. A couple of years later, that was what's happened actually.
And your latest album is set to be released on July 29th called Blues Revolution on Metalville Records. Was this album kind of a long time in the making?
Yeah, it was. We had the first album was in 2019. We started to write songs pretty quick after that, but the COVID situation, and we had some troubles in the studio as well. Couldn't get access to the studio and make the album finished. So it took almost a year from the first session until the last one. So it was a long process, but I think it was worth the wait. I'm really pleased with it.
Are you the primary songwriter as far as the lyrics are concerned, or does Jerry do a lot, like most of the music?
Jerry comes up with most of the lyrics, sketches for the lyrics, and then I try to attach and take away parts and add stuff to make it, work as the singer. So I feel that I can sing it in the way I want. Sometimes the sentences are too short or too long, or you need 2 more lines in this verse, and that's up to me to like make the lyrics complete. But it's Jerry's work from the beginning, almost every lyric. And the music is pretty much everyone in a band comes up with riffs and ideas for music. So yeah, it's a band effort in many ways.
One of the singles you put out early was Blues Revolution. If you want to get into what you're trying to say with this song.
Well, I think it's a theme for quite a few songs on the album, that it's time for us humans to take a step to come closer to each other and have, I mean, it's our world. We have to use this together and make this work together. It was just kind of one of those expressions that we came up with. It's a blues revolution. It's a revolution with no weapons or any bad stuff. Just getting together for the good, for the sake of the good things in life, and make it work. No animosity or enemies. So just we are all together. Just make the best of everything and help each other. That's the theme for a couple of the songs, actually.
Absolutely. And you kind of keep that theme going with your latest single, Let's Join Hands, kind of bringing everybody together. I mean, we've probably done this a couple times. We've probably called for this a couple of times in the last 50 years or so. And sometimes we're getting it right, and then we're right back to where we started again.
Yeah, it's an everlasting conquest for humanity. If I can sing something that means something, and maybe can have someone make an effort to do something good for your brother or whatever, then it's good. I'm happy with singing those kind of lyrics. I think it feels good.
Absolutely. And I think people need more positive messages today versus the negative messages that you said getting on the news, because that's not the real world we're living in.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we need more positive feedback from everywhere. It's too much of the bad stuff.
Absolutely. Are you planning to release a third single prior to the album's release?
Yeah, I think that it will be a third single on the release day of the album. I think that's the plan. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm not really sure.
You're working with Metalville Records for this album. You've worked with Metalville with the release of the Quill albums and stuff like that. Is that how you ended up on the label?
Yeah, it's exactly. I mean, we did the last album, record the whole album without any label, and I thought I sent this to the Metalville guys and just let them know that I have another band as well, and let me know what you think. This is something you could consider work with, and they were, yeah, that's really good. Yes, let's do this album. And then I think they're a good label. They do their work as they should, and when we're asked for this album as well, are you interested in doing another one? Then yeah, of course, let's do it.
You guys have already started performing on the festival circuit. I saw you had a couple shows in the books already. These are probably your first performances since the lockdown. So how's it been going?
Yeah, I think we're getting there. But the first 2 or 3 shows was, and we set the goals very high. We said we will play every song from the new album. So it was like 2 years without any live shows, and then 10 new songs on the set list that we have never played before. So but it went okay. But now we're getting there.
These bands that influence your bluesy sound, from the Southern rockers like ZZ Top and George Thorogood and whatnot, have you ever had the chance to meet any of these bands?
Just ZZ Top, actually. I've seen them live, and we played some festivals with the Quill where ZZ Top played as well. So yeah, they're one of the favorite bands of all time. I mean, they're old guys now, and maybe not in their prime anymore, but they release some really good songs on the latest album as well. But you know, the 70s CC Top album is, oof, that's shit, you know. Yeah, so good, and they were so good live.
So, in keeping with the 70s style of music and whatnot, and paying homage to that, you're releasing Blues Revolution on vinyl. I mean, that's kind of the way that everyone preferred to listen to their music in the 70s, and it seems to be making a boom. I mean, are you a big fan of vinyl yourself?
Yeah, actually, when the vinyl got lost in the 90s, of course I started to buy CDs as everyone else, but I bought a vinyl player like 6 or 7 years ago, and then got all my vinyl collection back in the music room, and started to buy old stuff, and all the new stuff that I wanted. I really bought it on vinyl as well, and yeah, I really prefer that. I think it's really cool. I mean, you can listen to the songs on your phone any time of the day, but when you open the gatefold and put out the vinyl and, you know, put it on and then crank it up with the big speakers, yeah, it's another level of experience, I think.
And when you start getting into it again, you find yourself with hundreds of vinyls in a short amount of time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. And I start to collect stuff, you know, to make my collections complete. You know, I have to get all the Sabbath albums again, and you know, but it's a lot of fun.
The Quill is your other band, stoner rock, kind of hard rock, sludgy rock, sort of Sabbathy a little bit at times. You guys are celebrating your 30th anniversary. You had a performance at the Monstrous Blues and Roots Festival.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, that was a great evening. Actually, we managed to get all the old band members together as well. So we, the four of us, that's the band now and has pretty much been the band most of the time, were the backbone of the show. But we called our keyboard player, who was on the first album in 1995 when he was all up for it, and the old bass player that left just before we had released the first album, he was also up for it. So they were up on stage playing the songs from the first album. And then we changed bass player for a couple of years, like 10 years ago, and he was up for it as well. And we also had another singer for a couple of albums. But everyone was there, and we did the Quill history from the start to the finish. And then everyone was on stage for the last song. That was pretty chaotic, but it was a lot of fun. So yeah, that was a great night with lots of friends and a lot of people in the audience as well. So it was a lot of fun.
Did you record it?
Yeah, we did.
Are you going to release it?
Yeah, we will see. Probably in some way. So, but it's there, it's recorded, and we'll see what we'll do with it. But we said we can't miss recording this show because this will never happen again, you know. So that was a lot of fun, and we had actually the venue is like 3 minutes from our rehearsal space. So everyone went up to the rehearsal where we had cases of beer and and champagne, and we had a party until the early morning in the rehearsal room with everyone. That was a lot of fun. Talking memories and drinking, and yeah, it was a great night.
So while you are working on Circus PRÜTZ and the Blues Revolution album and promoting that and playing performances with that, is the Quill on a break, or are you working with them both simultaneously?
Yeah, I try to work with them both. We haven't got any shows with the Quill at this period here. So we just try to get together and write songs for the next album. And then the Quill will start touring again in the winter time. And by then we hopefully have recorded the next Quill album. That's the plan. And Cirkus PRÜTZ will continue playing. It's mostly weekends here in Sweden. So and then we rehearse with the Quill in the weekdays. So it's okay.
Well, it sounds like you're killing it, Christian. Those are all the questions I got for you today. The new Cirkus PRÜTZ album comes out July 29th. It's called Blues Revolution. It's a nice throwback to 70s Southern rock and blues for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, and I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today. Once again, I want to thank Christian Carlsson of Cirkus PRÜTZ and the Quill for coming on the Rock is George podcast. Be sure to check out the new Cirkus PRÜTZ album, Blues Revolution, out on July 29th through Meadowville Records. Check it out on one of your favorite music streaming platforms. If you like what you hear, make sure you go out and buy a physical copy. Support the artist. For all things Cirkus PRÜTZ, check out their Facebook page, facebook.com/CIRCUSPRYTZ. I also want to thank Nathan T. Burke and Meadowville Records for making this interview possible. You've been great. I've been George Dionne. I'll see you again soon.